If you were to ask 9 out of 10 people in India, what is the newly christened opposition grouping I.N.D.I.A. stands for, I would bet my last dollar or rupee that those 9 people would be clueless about the fully expanded term. Probably all 10 would be. I am also not clear about the fully enlarged version. I would probably have to consult Google to know the full version. That tells you something about the intelligence of our politicians who coin such terms, hoping the nation, like sheep, will fall in line and be ecstatic of the new opposition grouping which has a tongue twister as its fully expanded version. But if you were to ask people if the new grouping sounds like India, then yes, it does. But that is not the question we should be asking. The real question that matters is, does the newly christened group feel like India, the country, a nation of 1.4 billion people and now the 5th largest economy in the world, a nation on the rise and on the move? And if the answer is yes, then the opposition has hit bullseye. But between intent and reality, there is always a chasm that sometimes is unbridgeable. Let us debate this issue, whether this invention of the opposition is inspired or is a gimmicky dud that exploded at the takeoff stage only. But before I do that, welcome all viewers to the CAA show. CAA, as all of you know, is Conversations and Analysis. My name is Juggi Bhasin. To watch this show, press the big red subscriber button on your screen. Subscription is, of course, completely free. I will also take this occasion to plug in my new book, Those Who Wait. This book is a roller coaster ride of contemporary hot button issues in the country, where I take a deep look at the lives of the most powerful in the country. This explosive mix is written in reality, fiction genre. Grab your copy today from Amazon. I have given the Amazon link in the introduction. Now, back to our debating issue of the day. Let me give you an example of the pitfalls of what I call name calling. We all know that the German brand Mercedes stands for top quality cars, trucks, and other forms of heavy machinery. Their reputation is well deserved. Probably everyone agrees with that. The brand denotes excellence in engineering skills, the rollout of top quality motor engines and plush interiors and outward finish at a premium cost. Now, sometimes back, I was reading an international magazine and I scanned through an article about the sex workers of Sao Paulo in Brazil. The article profiled the story of a sex worker called Mercedes. The question arises, why am I telling you this interesting fact? Does the name Mercedes elevate the sex worker to a higher pedestal than the one her profession and work slaughter in? Or does the sex worker named Mercedes downgrade the worldwide excellent reputation of the company that rolls out Mercedes cars? Neither is true really. The name itself does not enhance or diminish reputation. The work of the company or the individual do. The name itself does not merely create the brand. It is the work put in behind the name, the legacy that stands out behind the name that creates the value for the brand name. Again, for instance, the motor company making Jaguar cars has an excellent reputation. But there are also millions of people around the world who call their dogs Jaguar. A name is a name really, and no more than that. We understand this point. Do you think the opposition does not? Of course they do. And yet, they go ahead and flaunt the name I.N.D.I.A. with beaming faces as if they have discovered the Holy Grail. Could it be that the opposition think tanks take the country for masses of gullible people who will cast their votes for them under a name that sounds just like India? Does the opposition think that the majesty of the country, India, its wisdom and energy and its significance will function as a kind of a transferable vote to a name change opportunity? If that is the case, then the opposition either takes the country as a collective of sheep who will bleat and follow the way shown to them at their say-so, or else the opposition thinks it is too clever by half that many in its grouping can camouflage their inglorious past track records and use lies and deceit to hoodwink the people by a similar sounding name christening ceremony. Both instances, if true, are worrying for the health of our democracy. Instead of facing the people on the strength of the work they have done or their policies earmarked for the people, the opposition banks on success on a name change. How infantile can they get and how ridiculous the entire idea is. But such is the level of discourse that grips the political class in the country and the depths to which we have fallen to. And so, on this note, I come to the end of this episode of the CAA Show. I hope you really enjoyed this particular episode. You like our show, do subscribe to us. And on this note, it's goodbye and cheers from my end.